Okay, so when your panel mounting kit comes, we probably won't, unless you require it, we don't really send out 50mm RHS all across the country. You're better off to buy that locally. Get 4 lengths at 3mm wall thickness. The 4 lengths will make up your basis of your 6-panel array. You also need a 100 NB pipe, as heavy wall as you can get. That stuff's 6mm. The more the better. Once you get these 50mm RHS lengths, you need to drill some holes in it to hold the little brackets that then hold the aluminium tracks. So use an 8mm drill to drill holes. You need 4 holes drilled. Come in 450 from the end. Mark your centre line and come back 350 from your centre line. Just put your little brackets on using the enclosed bolts and nuts. That's it. Right, as far as other ground preparation goes, this is our pipe. We put a 1.2 metre hole, 600mm wide, which will be concreted. You can use base plate systems as well. You've got to look for, you're trying to face it to the north, so we're looking for shaded areas. What we usually do is put a steel post out there a few weeks before. We're in the middle of winter now, which is a good time to see what your sunlight issues are. We'll talk about the angles and how you can get longer pumping hours later on, but you got to get sunlight, so keep it out of the shade. Okay, what we've done so far, we've got this central beam. There's a couple of different options for slants, which we'll talk about in a minute as to what degrees you want to do. Basically, that's your latitude, but we wanted to flatten ours out a bit more to get a few more hours of daylight on ours. So that entailed having to take a little slice off here with the grinder. Unfortunately, bolts all go in. They come with all those washers, washer each side, 2 washers per bolt, Nylex bolts, all pretty self-explanatory. Box goes on, it comes with all the bolts to put onto the box. Don't put it up the wrong way, so that the small side goes to the bottom of the box and then the big side at the top. The next step is we have to get all these, get all your cross members, the 50mm cross members that we spoke about earlier, and they are bolted then onto your cross beams that way. That's what we'll do now. Okay, we've got all our tracks on. Just doing a quick tighten up now to finish it all off. I will also put a bolt in here. We've got this facing due north, and so we'll bolt into there. For the northern hemisphere, of course, it's the other way around, we're facing south. Tighten everything up, and then it's time to get our solar panels on. Woo! A few odds and ends jobs. We're attaching our shroud, which means putting the 4mm stainless steel cable through and attached. It's a safety cable only, so it just gets attached into there. Make sure you've either got a good bracket or you loop it through and use a stainless steel shackle. Just, you've got to watch out these don't rub together, so really wrap it up well with a good quality duct tape before you put your shroud on. They both fit through there like that. You'll have to make sure you've threaded that on before you actually attach your cable. Your cable, as we said before, fits in down here. Once that's on like that, the shroud will slide over, and it's got holes drilled through there, which will align with the intake of the motor. what the idea is so water circulates around to keep the motor part of the pump clean, cool. Any of these fittings that you're going to put down the hole, make sure they're stainless steel. Don't try and cut corners and use cheap cable. The next thing after that we'll do is loop up our this cable at the top. I've used stainless steel clip at the top. Once again, that cable is just there as a backup. The actual pump hangs from the pipe. That's why we use plus-on fittings up there. They give us a grip test on their fittings, where the other companies wouldn't do that. To work out what height you want your dry run protection at, you can just loop it. We'll probably loop it up like that, put some duct tape on it, and get it set at, whatever, a metre above the height of the pump or something. Okay, that's about it at this stage. Just showed you those few little things before we drop it down the hole. Okay, so what we're doing here is just duct taping up the pipe that goes down the hole to the rubberized cable. We've done some pretty significant taping here to get rid of all the sharp edges. This is our dry run protection. I've shortened up that cable because I want it to kick in about a metre below where the pump level will be. And along the pipe, about every less than a metre, we've put duct tape taping the rubberized cable to the poly. The stainless steel, the 4mm stainless steel cable, which is just a safety cable, so it stays completely separate from that. Don't ever tape that onto these. The action of the pump will wear through that, and you'll either end up with a broken cable or a shorting out cable or a pipe with a hole in it. We're ready to put it down.
Do you want me to go back?
Bring it down, I think.
There you go.
Deep, it's 22 metres plus.
Do you lift it up a metre or you...
It's a 26 metre hole.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting at 22 pipe plus 2 metres, brings 24.
Hey guys, you're obviously watching this video because you've recently purchased a solar pump from Boss Rural. We're just giving a bit of 101 on what you can and can't do legally yourself. The law states that 120 volts DC or 50 volts AC is ELV, anything below that, and you can technically do your own electrical work if you are competent to do so and follow all these relevant standards and legislation. Some of the things that a lot of people need to be aware of is what voltage comes out of the solar panels, whether or not the pump is a multi-voltage pump like this one, which can actually be plugged into a 240 volt outlet, which straight away deems it to be a licensed electrical contractor to carry out any electrical work engaged with it. So yeah, a lot of the things that people do definitely need to be aware of, and we would strongly advise all the time, is to engage a licensed, competent electrical worker and contractor to carry out any electrical work that you guys might require to be needed with these pumps.